Hey everyone, Desi's here with another video. In this video, I'm going to be playing Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. It's a new MMO that is in early access and available on Steam. And this game is sort of a remastered, or I suppose it's attempting to kind of remaster the inherent fundamental gameplay values that the original EverQuest experience encourages. And I made a level 1 paladin named Severus, and I was running around a little bit on him last night when I purchased the game. In this video, I want to kind of just go through some of the first moments of the gameplay experience on Pantheon and just talk about my first impressions and maybe just talk about some of the things that I like so far and some of the things I dislike in just a very rough intro to playing the game. So the first thing for me that I liked right away is the user interface is very similar to EverQuest. And I can tell that the community itself and the way that people communicate, especially in out of character, it very much resembles the feel of EverQuest, which I think is pretty cool. And another thing is, just the mobs themselves. You can con them and it'll say they're indifferent to you, and then it has the same kind of con colors as the EverQuest mob target rings in EverQuest, so I think that is pretty cool in and of itself as well. And I think for the graphics, I'm playing on like the highest setting. I think the graphics are fine for what they are. I know that this game is really trying to maybe create that spiritual successor relationship with EverQuest. And I think the reason we play EverQuest has never really been the graphics. Ooh, who's this guy? I think, if anything, there is a charm to the original EverQuest graphics because it has that like retro feel. The models and zones were all created well over 25 years ago, and I think playing it with the modern eye of modern day video games and being able to kind of relate to those games, I think EverQuest stands on its own because even though the graphics aren't great, they still have that nice stylistic, I think it's a fun atmosphere. And for Pantheon, I mean, the graphics are obviously better than the EverQuest graphics. There's more polygons in the models, the lighting is a bit better, and there's grass that has its own textures and objects and everything that sticks out of the ground. But I don't think the graphics are anything crazy in this game. And I don't think they have to be anything crazy. I think as long as the gameplay's fun, as long as the community is thriving and you feel like you can be a part of something and work together with others, which is, I think, something that the developers have been very transparent about encouraging in this game. I think that with that, Pantheon may be able to stand on its own apart from EverQuest. However, it is in early access, so a lot of the mechanics and a lot of the zones and pretty much everything is all under construction, and you're not going to be able to experience the full release of Pantheon for most likely a couple years, and that's something, if you are ever interested in playing Pantheon, is something that you'll have to be aware of and accept if you are to play it before early access ends and the actual game releases. And with that, I think the developers mentioned that there may be some wipes for the characters, so that's also something that if you were to play Pantheon that you'll have to accept, as well as that your character is probably going to get deleted. So don't get too emotionally attached, but if you do, just, I think playing the game just for the fun of it and the experience is fun enough and good enough to not have to, worry about losing your character. It's the experience that matters. So let's kill a mob. Let's kill this small flutterwing bat. And I killed a couple things last night, but the combat itself is very similar to EverQuest. You have the tab targeting, the auto attack, you have the certain amount of abilities, and I think readiness is sort of like a endurance And got Wrath as well, it looks like. So yeah, I got him down. And then there's a lot of professions that I've noticed so far that are very encouraged early on, with a nice introduction quest for each specific profession. So there's skinning, which I'm doing right now on this bat, which you can get some materials for, I suppose, making leather items, or maybe, yeah, that's what I would assume you'd make mostly, is like leather armor if you're a leather wearing class. There's also mining, and I do enjoy the mining in this game. I'm going to turn the game volume up a little bit, because there are nodes throughout the zones, and I always liked that about MMOs that have mining, especially in World of Warcraft Classic. I always enjoyed finding a mining node, and it just feels like a little scavenger hunt, and you find something in the world, you reap the benefits of it, and then it's not something you directly think about always when you're playing the game, but it's just kind of like a little bonus. Like, oh, nice. I think that guy's a little too high. And the inventory itself, it very much resembles the EverQuest interface of your inventory. You have, and I mean any sort of RPG, especially MMO, you're gonna have the armor slots. Looks like there's a relic inventory spot, which is interesting. Yeah, he's a little too high level. And you have a lot of the classic stats that you'd expect from EverQuest, and looks like these are all of the weapon and magic and kind of your acrobatic abilities here that you can level up, like swimming and certain proficiencies with weapons. And then there's your melee stats, your defense stats, your ranged stats, and then your spell stats. So very similar layout to WoW Classic, especially with certain plugins where you can see those things broken down a little more intuitively. It looks like you start with a bag, adventures, backpack, 10 slots. Interface is the same as EverQuest with the vertical rows and columns of a bag. And start with some food, so it looks like you have to worry about food in this game, so that's kind of cool. Take out this bat. And then there's an acclimation system, which I believe is some sort of environmental system where you have to maybe adapt your character to specific zones and have certain gear or something like that. Looks like there's like a head glyph and a glyph pouch, so I'm not 100% sure on these systems just yet, but I am sure as I keep playing and the game updates more, then I will know more about that, definitely. Let's skin this guy so I can look at the inventory. And then for the professions, they gave you certain tools for each profession. For the first 4 that I unlocked, the skinning, the sickle for harvesting plants, the hatchet for cutting down trees. Looks like we got a pickaxe for taking out some of those nodes. And it looks like there's a lot of other profession items that you can obtain throughout your journey. Looks like there's like a profession head. So there's full armor for a profession, and I think that's a similar system to Final Fantasy XIV, where depending on the certain profession that you're leveling up, it pretty much turns into a class in and of itself. And with that, you can equip armor that actually boosts your specific profession that you're leveling up and getting skills in. They got a fishing rod, fishing spear, kind of interesting, and a generic crafting tool, it looks like, for maybe like a workbench or some sort of system for that. So there's definitely more to explore there, which is compelling. And these are the nodes for harvesting, for herbalism, I'd assume. It's kind of a cool looking plant. But on an audio level, I think the sounds of the game are very immersive, and the environments have a lot of detail, and the small background music going on definitely adds to the environment of like a nighttime in whatever zone I'm in right now. And I do like the sky. It looks very nice, I'll be honest. And the moon looks really, really cool with that white outline. It almost looks like an eclipse. But yeah, the sky is really cool. So this video, again, it's just kind of my first impressions, and just talking my way through the beginning experiences of playing this game. Let's see, this brown rat. I've barely seen any white cons. I'll just say that. I've just been killing yellow cons, so it has been a bit sketch. But I do have lay on hands. I think there's a 30-minute cooldown, and it does what you'd expect it to do. It completely heals you instantly, so I have that get out of jail free card as a paladin, which is always nice. And that's why I always like playing paladins, is they have so many tools in their toolkit. Oh, did someone heal me? Absorbing incoming damage. I wonder if you did that. Thank you. Oh, yep, Dren's healing spark healed Severus for 24. Nice. And it's nice just seeing the out of character chat kind of going strong. Just people saying they're LFG, people saying they're looking for more. I ran across a couple camps of just people, you know, killing spawns in certain areas, and it just really had that EQ vibe, which was really nice to see. And it's nice to see it in just a different medium. My channel, if you're not subscribed or anything, I've done a lot of EverQuest videos, and I specifically play on... Oh god. Alright, I gotta lay on hands. Oh gosh. I specifically play emulated servers on EverQuest, specifically Project Quorum and Project 1999 a lot, and they are different from what you'd expect from the retail version of EverQuest, so they do have their own unique differences in that MMO sphere. So it feels a little bit more novel, but it's still EverQuest. It's still the EverQuest engine and the zones and everything. And I think it's nice to experience this kind of gameplay formula in a completely different game. And I don't think we see that very often. There's, of course, countless other MMOs. You have, you know, World of Warcraft Classic, I think, is one of the biggest MMOs that somewhat feels like classic EverQuest, but that is also a completely different kind of game. Okay, this one's not looking good. I think I'm gonna have to run for the hills here. So like strafe running, I wonder if I can actually outrun this mob. It's not looking good. This bat is extremely fast, but I know there's corpse runs in this game, and I want to make sure that I die in a spot that I would at least remember, so when I do try to retrieve my corpse, it's not in a completely unknown area. Because another thing about this game is there's absolutely no maps, and that is something you'll have to adjust to. And it's also something that makes the game feel more exciting as well, because, oh gosh, actually exploring this game is... Oh, I'm dead. No, I'm still up. I'm just unconscious. I could still make it. Oh, you can crawl. That's kind of badass. Okay, I actually died. Wait, do I still have everything? Oh, it looks like I still have everything. So I don't know if I have to worry about finding my corpse just yet. But there are some merchants here. And this is kind of the... I wonder if I can sell to this guy, or if he just has things to sell and I can't sell to him. Like bat meat, I don't know if I'll need that. Alt right click to sell. Okay. Crow feather. Coal, I might need that possibly. Definitely need this ore for... I want to keep all the profession items. I think that's important. A Celestium Dust of Resilience. A catalyst. Not really sure what that's for, but it might be important. So I have 48 copper. I can definitely... Well, I can't really afford anything yet. I'll have to come back. I'm not even level 2 yet, so I still got some work to do. But it definitely has a nice cozy feel to it. And I think that's something that, you know, it feels good to play a game that has a nice environment and isn't too fast-paced. And I think that's why a lot of people love EverQuest for what it is. It's a nice, cozy game to play and relax while you're playing. Sleepwalking Oscar. Seti Garen. But this game does feel old school, and I like that. It's old school with somewhat of a polished modern feel. But yeah, again, the graphics aren't crazy. they're not, groundbreaking graphics or anything, but I don't think they were ever intending to be. And so this game is $40 on Steam, which is kind of a bit, but it's a one-time purchase. There's no sub fee or anything. And it's going to support the development of the game as well, which is always a nice thing. They've been developing Pantheon for, I think, 10 years at this point, and they've run into a few major hiccups. The passing of Brad McQuaid is a big one. But I've always kind of been aware of this game, but I never really looked into it too much. And so seeing that it was actually available for early access was pretty interesting. I didn't expect it to ever be playable. I didn't expect there to ever be a product to even try. So I felt like it was just in permanent development. And I mean, that's still not far from the case, but at least like I'm able to actually play the game, which is kind of cool. Oh, this guy's kicking my ass. It's nice that they run away though. And they have medding in this game similar to EverQuest. I wonder if you get more efficient medding if you sit by a campfire, maybe? Okay, no. Yeah, recovering health and mana every 5 seconds. So, got that medding system as well, and that always makes it more immersive to have a more patient play style, especially when you're playing with other people. Definitely like the atmosphere of the game. And the pets look badass. I think that's a magician or something. That pet looks awesome. And I'm just excited to kind of see where the profession systems go, and I'm excited to join a group, join a camp. I think that'll be fun. Ooh, I'm kicking his ass. And I have an undead spell. Nice. Yeah, skeletons are definitely my forte. I can work with that. And I think I need to kill him for a quest anyways. Okay, yeah. Defeat 3 crumbling skeletons. Let's take this rat out. I think this rat is gonna ding me to level 2. It's pretty exciting. Oh. Uh-oh. I should have medded. I think I definitely forgot to do that. But I think I can still get him. Nice. Let's go. And I'm not sure how loud my gameplay volume is on this video, but the level sound effect is literally the same ding sound as it is in EverQuest. So that is, it's kind of on the nose that, you know, this is for EverQuest players. The heart of EverQuest is definitely in this game. And I might title this video either like the first impressions of Pantheon, or is Pantheon the spiritual successor to EverQuest? And if I do end up titling the video, is it the spiritual successor of EverQuest? I do want to talk about it at least. Or if I make that a separate video, I at least want to kind of talk about my central, like, beginning thoughts about that concept. So I think Pantheon is definitely inherently inspired and created to encompass the experiences of EverQuest. But as a spiritual successor, I don't think that could ever be like a thing. I think EverQuest on its own will always be a product of its time, and the inspirations that devolve from EverQuest or evolve out of EverQuest in the means of different games and IPs are always going to be their own things, and they're always going to pick and choose what they want to take away from EverQuest as an inspiration. if you look at World of Warcraft, I think World of Warcraft Classic is very much a successor in sorts to EverQuest, because it was designed under the blueprint that EverQuest laid, but completely changed a lot of the systems and dynamics, and the world itself is inspired by Blizzard's own Warcraft series. So I think Pantheon is definitely a nice, cozy alternative to EverQuest that really tries to capture the feeling of EverQuest. So out of every game that I could think of, if there were a spiritual successor to EverQuest, I think Pantheon would probably be the closest, simply because it's really trying to capture the same feel in all of the systems. And medding, the level sound effect itself is kind of funny. Just the inventory, the chat colors, the chat channel types, the combat window, it definitely, the compass up here, even the settings window is similarly formatted to EverQuest. It definitely feels like a some sort of successor. I think spiritual successor is kind of a silly term, but I do think it does fit that description in more ways than it doesn't. But it's definitely still a work in progress, and there's going to be a lot of room for improvement. And I just wanted to kind of post another video. I haven't been doing a lot of EverQuest videos lately because I haven't been playing it much, and I've had a lot of IRL things come up, and starting a new job and stuff, all that fun stuff. So I definitely want to get back into making more gaming videos. If I get into Pantheon more, I definitely want to do Pantheon videos, because I think it could be a fun game, and I think it would be cool to make videos about this game that's so new and kind of be in the forefront of this game's public release. I think that would be really fun. So anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. If you like these kind of videos, definitely hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps the channel out. I'd really appreciate it. But anyways, take care everyone. Peace.